We're visual effects artists. We know what VFX look like, so we know whether or not something is real or fake.
Warning, we're about to watch a lot of BS that's been circulating on the internet. So if you have cool sunglasses like me, you're gonna want to put them on. Recently, there was a celestial event known as the Eclipse. What better time to attract other life forms? Well, some people supposedly caught some of those life forms on camera.
What? No way.
During the eclipse. Check this out.
That looks like a crescent moon, but the moon was in front of the sun. So NASA said, don't film this. Is it because they didn't want you to capture this? That's insane. Someone just tell me, what is this?
This is easy. This is very easy.
Wren, take him home.
This is a real alien. It is a lens flare.
Yeah, you would not believe the amount of people who were basically filming the eclipse and saw a lens flare on their phone and thought it was an alien.
Oh my God, that is not the sun.
It's nothing fancy. It's just light bouncing around inside of all the different planes of glass inside of a lens. It's very standard.
Here's another one. This one's a little trickier. Look at that. There's two lens flares. So wait a second. Does that mean there's two light sources?
I'm pretty sure it's some sort of phone case that has an entire pane of glass on top of that built into the case. The light is going through that first pane of glass, bouncing off of the lens, reflecting off of the backside of that pane of glass, and then going back through the lens again.
Yeah.
And so that's what's creating that sort of double look.
This is an example of what we were just looking at. See, someone's filming through glass and they're getting a secondary reflection.
Oh, I see.
Look at that.
Whoa, dude.
Same exact thing. But that effect is not the only thing that was driving people insane during the eclipse.
Yo, okay.
That's
That's
sweet.
super cool. Again, I know exactly what this is.
Lens flares and shadows both behave differently during a solar eclipse.
Everyone says, you know what? Don't look directly at the eclipse, use a pinhole camera. You're taking a tiny pinprick and letting the sun's light onto some other surface for your viewing pleasure. It's a tiny, tiny hole, just like the tiny gap between twigs and leaves on a tree. Basically, you're getting the same pinhole camera effect, but over like 1,000 times. That looks super cool.
Yeah.
So this one's a fun one, but now, unfortunately, all the fun and games are over.
No.
Check out what these guys saw during the eclipse.
Oh.
Was that a shark?
Do you think that's VFX?
Of course.
It's funny because it immediately reminds me of my fake UFO footage because it's animated in almost exactly the same way, where it's just this little streaky object that just goes boop.
Can you pause right when it crosses the middle of the frame?
You know what it looks like right there. Kind of just looks like a commercial airline.
And yet it's the darkest thing in the sky.
It's only as dark as the dark parts in the clouds.
I see the airplane that you're talking about though.
Yeah.
I see the sort of shape, so it could be the shadow onto the clouds from the
That's
airplane.
Not a bad thought.
Check this out. So I know they're in Arlington, Texas filming this. So if you use this app to basically see the sun's direction, they're actually filming this right along path of Dallas-Fort Worth Airport.
Oh.
Here's another shot of a plane flying above the clouds. See that?
Oh, yep.
See how the plane's shadow makes that?
Yeah.
That's absolutely what it is.
The clouds diffuse the shadow to what we're seeing, where the wings kind of start disappearing.
Yeah.
The diffusion of the clouds did make it seem like janky After Effects motion blur, but seeing this other clip, it's super close.
I feel like I've been convinced that that was real.
Well, I got one final one left for you that will completely rock your world. This next clip actually stumped me. Mid-eclipse. So there's something over there. That's interesting.
That was probably Mars or something, because you can clearly see planets during the eclipse.
But what is that?
That's
weird. It's got a tail.
This shot stumped me.
Really? I think I know what it is.
I don't know what this is. Okay, so it's also clearly real and behind the power lines, the way it refracted around the power lines.
So once again, no VFX.
I think this is one of those big banners that is pulled by an airplane.
And they're maybe doing a nosedive with their banner, right?
The tail of it looks like it's separating. It looks like there's chunks of the fire that are leaving the rest of the main body of the fire. Wisps of it kind of falling away.
There's something black above it. You see that?
Yeah.
Did you do any zooming and enhancing on this one, Sam?
Well, you see, I didn't have to zoom and enhance.
Oh, okay.
Because this is a visual phenomenon that has already stumped us before on this show.
Dolls?
I think I know.
It was this.
Yep. Yep. Oh, how did I get? Oh,
Those are all skydivers with flares attached to their ankles.
that got me 2 times.
These people!
They did it again, didn't they? Sky flamers, dude.
You're saying this is the guy that
That
we were
is
seeing
what we
a
are
moment.
watching, yes.
Because this is during the eclipse. It had to be the same moment.
Yes.
Maybe that's that little black thing, that little dark
Yeah,
object
the dark
that's
thing,
above it.
you're seeing the actual canopy.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a cool one.
We did
no
it.
visual effects so far.
Yeah.
I thought for a moment there might be some, but no, not yet.
Speaking of the sun, though, this is footage from actual space. You'll see the flare right down there, but you'll see a very specific shape in space, and it is a square space.
So that's what it's like.
That's right, Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website. Start a completely personalized website with the new guided design system, Squarespace Blueprint. Choose from professionally curated layout and styling options to build a unique online presence from the ground up and tailored to your brand or business. Easily launch your website and get discovered fast with integrated, optimized SEO tools, so you show up more often to more people and grow the way you want. Do you want to sell cool glasses like mine to all your UFO pals?
Edit it.
Whether you sell physical goods, digital content, or services, Squarespace has the tools you need to start selling. So you can go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch your website into the stratosphere, you go on over to squarespace.com/corridorcrew to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So that solar square in space has been debunked. Now back to more. There has been a little bit of a buzz about 2 photos.
That
As you can see,
That is the alien from Independence Day.
Welcome to Earth.
it looks like a little potato. Oh, but then you see a face. You see arms. You see alien nipples. There is one type of root that kind of resembles a humanoid figure.
It's called a mandrake root.
Yes, it is. He got it.
Oh, it's a mandrake root!
Look at that guy.
That's not the same though. If someone said I pulled it out of my garden, they're a liar. What could it be? What could it be?
But we did find something else that might be the answer here. That is an alien prop from a prop house.
Oh my god, it's the same thing.
Wait, so could it have actually been from like the new Independence Day movie maybe?
I don't know specifically where this prop came from or why they made it, but there's certainly a ton of photos of it online, and it really does look
It looks just like it.
almost exactly like.
You guys are being too kind. It's the same.
It is probably
that is exactly
the same.
what it is.
Does it have the boobs though? It's got,
Got the
butt.
Somebody left their alien prop on the ground.
Yep.
And took a picture and tried to trick us.
Yeah.
Maybe if they would have x-rayed that and put it through some MRIs and presented that to the Mexican government, they could have convinced me.
These small mummified specimens were unveiled at Mexico's first ever UFO hearing yesterday.
Previously on our debunking show, we have taken a look at some alien mummies. Our boy Jaime's got more mummies, as it seems. Look at this, they've even named them Santiago and Sebastian.
Oh no.
Does anyone actually believe these are real mummies?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that doesn't just look like paper mache and bullshit.
It doesn't, but don't you know they have real bones inside them?
What?
Whose grave did you have to rob to make this paper mache dummy?
That face.
Do 30% unknown
30%
DNA.
unknown. Probably because it's from every animal they could find.
So it turns out the mummy guy had roped in a bunch of documentary filmmakers to help him with his cause. But if you take a look at these filmmakers' other work, well, it doesn't really bode well for him.
Reminding me a little bit of a Veter.
It is a meter.
You know, I saw myself within this when I saw it, yeah.
More. It's an alien. It moves unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Debunked.
It's debunked.
Debunking makes me feel good.
Let's take a look at the San Diego Sphere.
I don't know what this thing is.
I'm gonna frame by frame and study the motion blur.
Looks pretty good.
That looks pretty good.
So then someone on Reddit actually stabilized the tree so we can clearly see the orb next to the tree. Now what does it look like?
Looks like a balloon.
Looks like a balloon in the wind.
It's a balloon in the wind.
So shout out to the sneezing monkey, he already kind of debunked this. And if you read this, basically there's some sort of like dispute. Some neighbors dressed up the balloon to look like Sputnik and then lifted it up into the air.
Oh man.
Who knows if this specific story is true, but it's a good story, kind of makes sense, and it would explain everything we just saw.
Wow, that's funny. It literally is a UFO balloon.
Definitely a balloon.
All right, debunked.
Debunked.
Debunking makes me feel good.
Have you guys seen the crazy laser beams over Turkey? There's these crazy bright green laser beams shooting down into the ground and it illuminates the clouds.
Oh my God, someone's playing Helldivers. They're doing an orbital, it's an orbital laser beam.
My first reaction to seeing this is a laser can't possibly illuminate the clouds like
Are you
that.
kidding me? That looks so real. What I have a problem with is that it says in the description, it says, green laser seen descending.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you mean ascending?
First off, yes, you're 100% correct. It's coming from the ground going upwards. What's getting me is how pervasive the illumination in the clouds is. I've played with a lot of high-powered green laser beams before. They're not gonna illuminate the entire sky of clouds. But then when it goes to like the close-up and you can clearly see the clouds going by, I'm like, okay, that does look really good and real though. So then I noticed one very key piece of evidence. Look at the cars driving on the highway in this shot. They're streaks. It's long exposure photography.
With long exposure, you are exposing your sensor for a much longer amount of time to light.
Well, in that case, maybe this laser beam could illuminate the clouds. I started Google searching green beam turkey and it kept autocorrecting it to green bean turkey because they thought I was looking for a recipe. And then I found this website. I was like, whoa, interesting. Green mega laser in Germany though. That was the thing, I was like, this is Germany, this isn't Turkey. And then I saw this photo and I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, it's not Turkey.
That's
They're
the
lying.
same cityscape.
Wow.
So then I found the original video clip.
Oh,
Look
dude.
at this.
That's wild.
This is sick.
So there's this company in Germany that specializes in making high-powered lasers. But yeah, they're celebrating their 100th anniversary as a company by basically spending a week lighting up the sky every night with this giant green laser beam. It's a very powerful beam. It fits in the size of something like a refrigerator.
That's very cool.
This random TikTok account just makes up a random place for this to be happening now. Man, it's seriously, the one thing I've learned from doing this debunking show with you guys is that like, the internet loves to just blatantly lie and make up stuff all the time, trying to pass it off as real.
I've got a clip. The Wichita Tic Tac. Just take a look.
Oh, there's a plane. But what is that? It's a pill.
It's a pill object. It does not create contrails, has no wings. It just floats.
What the? Oh,
That was a weird
VFX.
tracking thing.
VFX.
Did you see it slide?
Yeah, see?
Hold on. It was either a sliding VFX or they did a slight sidestep.
Yeah, can we go back? I want to see that again.
No, that's someone just sidestepping. Because of the extreme perspective, we're seeing things slide unnaturally. It literally looks like a tracking error because the phone's digital tracking is basically sticking to the branches.
Yeah, I'm starting to become more convinced that this is actually photographed for real. This is not a visual effects shot, but what is it? It looks like a blimp now.
Yeah, but it's moving too fast. Blimps don't move very quickly at all through the air, and this is moving very fast.
Blimps don't go that high.
They also don't go that high. There's an alternate angle as well. Even though it's an alternate angle, we're still kind of seeing the same sort of pill shape. What is this pill object?
It could just be a balloon, man. I don't know.
In big like commercial airline planes, they typically leave contrails, but in small planes like this, prop planes, you don't get the contrails. The wings can blend very well into the background. I think what we are seeing in that video is a small passenger plane like this that is simply being reflected by the sun.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
That makes a lot of sense. The wings are at the right angle, the sun is hitting it in just a way that you're only seeing the body of the plane and nothing else. With a little bit more critical thinking, you can pretty easily debunk this.
Debunking makes me feel good.
This clip is one, I'm gonna just say at the front, I could not figure out. I need you guys' help.
Those are not meteors.
That's weird. It's like a collection of stars that are all like twinkling in succession.
But then it gets more interesting. They start moving.
Those are not meteors. They work closer. They're leaving.
We're looking at real motion blur, subframe motion blur. It's perfectly tracked into the sky, so I'm pretty sure what we're seeing is at least not a visual effect. What the heck could this possibly be? Especially because I found a second clip of this.
Can you just tell us right now, it's definitely not a collection of hundreds of skydivers, right? Because I really don't want it to be that.
When we looked at the one over the UK, that was just like a dozen lights or so. This looks to be upwards of like 100 or more.
Drone light show.
That's a reasonable guess, but I don't think it's a drone light show. Drones don't move that fast. If you've ever seen a drone light show, they're pretty slow.
Here's the thing I really think it is though. I'm seeing something that's so high up in the sky that it's catching sunlight.
That was what I thought, yes. Could it possibly be like a constellation of satellites? I remember there being a bunch of talk about the Starlink satellites. The rocket goes up, and once it's basically up at orbit, it starts dropping these satellites one after another in a train. Here is a real-time map.
Oh,
ew!
There's so many satellites on Earth?
Ugh!
SpaceX has almost launched as many Starlink satellites as humanity has ever launched any satellite. Yeah, so I zoom in here over Palmdale essentially, and we're seeing what looks like maybe a dozen or so satellites in the entire region. You're not gonna see a giant clump of what looked like hundreds of dots flashing in a certain small part of the sky. It's not the Starlink satellites we're seeing in this clip. Maybe it is like space debris, something breaking up and falling, but that has a very distinct look to it. Check this out. This is space debris. That's what it looks like when something breaks up in the atmosphere. They all have these trails. They're all incredibly bright. They're not flickering.
That is not what we were seeing.
It's not space debris falling out of the air. It's not Starlink satellites. It's not a visual effect.
Are we not gonna be able to solve one of these things? We've been freaking hitting home runs all day, and then you bring this to us?
I told you.
I don't know if you're being real. Do you really not know the answer?
I'm being for real, man. I don't know what this is.
What if it's space debris before it enters the atmosphere? So it's not burning, but it's reflecting
That's possible.
the light from the sun.
That's possible. That was, yeah.
It's got the shape of debris, aka it's like this, it looks like something's just been dispersed very randomly. Second of all, it's moving at the general speed that stuff in orbit is moving.
That is true. It is moving about that fast.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, I guess, our best guess, yeah? Because
I think
I can't
you're
imagine
right.
it would be anything else.
Guessing makes me feel good.
Dude, if we could find another video from the same location, same time, of space debris burning, then we've confirmed this.
Oh, hey, I saw you looking at my amazingly super cool shirt. Well, this thing is still on sale for 3 more days. It's a limited edition. Head over to our shop and snag one for yourself. We also got hoodies too. They're really nice.
During this whole session, we have been looking towards the sky.
Are you gonna suggest we gotta look towards our soul?
There is a whole other subreddit and community of USOologists. There is a very, very bright blue glowing object under the surface.
That's very bright, all right.
Wait,
See the
what?
light?
It's panning.
It's a light
moving.
beam. It's a light beam. It's a
panning
giant
around.
flashlight.
There's something else in the water here now.
Oh my God.
As you can see, there's
that is chilling.
some sort of
Holy cow.
non-human shape. It is really hard to tell from this footage what exactly this thing is.
You unfathomable sea objects.
Lots of different Redditors have dissected this video to pieces. Someone has gone and looked up the exact time of day, the exact moment that this footage was recorded, and we have satellite imagery.
You're telling me it took something in outer space
Yes.
to see something underwater?
Yeah.
The shortwave infrared composite, swear?
This is an infrared image. Everything that's black is water. This is the moisture index.
So is this saying that not all of the water is equally moist?
The dark red spaces are the driest points. That bottom object is the boat, which is dry, and this other object up top matches the dryness levels of the moisture index. This is definitely a real object in the water. I looked into different types of research vessels, and I go to a website of one of these institutes that makes these vessels, and the very first thing I see on their website is this image that looks exactly like the footage.
That looks exactly what we were watching.
It looks
though.
so much like it. It's a submersible research vessel. There's still one big question here. What the heck is that thing moving away from the blue light? There's like another square object above it. That is probably this guy.
Scuba Steve.
It's probably a guy holding a GoPro.
That is good. That's very good.
Probably
That's really good.
a scuba diver holding a GoPro. Debunked.
Debunked.
Debunking makes me feel good.
That's all the clips we have today, but I am most impressed that none of the clips we found today had any visual effects at all. They're all real phenomenon, something captured for real, even though they weren't aliens.
Wren, I think people are getting wise to the VFX.
I mean, I think that's just a sign of our times. If you want to fool someone, you're gonna need to do this practically. If you have any underwater clips, we are dying to see more. Send us some at debunk@corridordigital.com.